the day before. Today we're going to be going over the episode 4 investigation of Hunt a Killer, class of 98. And the first thing that I'm going to go over with you guys today is the letter from the private investigator. So let me just pull that out of our Gray Investigations envelope.
One eternity later.
Can do it. Okay. So, in the letter from Gray Investigations, Michelle Gray, the private investigator, attempting to find out who killed Charlie McDaniel, she talks to us about some of the stuff she sent to us. The first being a Valentine's Day card that she sent along that was found in Charlie's house. There's also a toy doll and a handwritten note that Gray sent to us that were found in Charlie's cart, and these two items seem to be related to each other. Online evidence on Deviant Tracker, which is a website that we've been using for this case, it includes a gift bag with a message written on the tag, and there's also surveillance photos from Dimitri's Taverna the night of Charlie's murder. And the letter here also says that the timestamps will help fill in the timeline. She also sent along a witness statement from Athena Matsoukas, who is Nick's mom and the co-owner of the Taverna. And while Gray was at the Taverna, she found a discarded memo from Nick's workplace, so she sent that along to us as well. She also sent an article about Gavin Nash from LA Today, and an article featuring Robin Dupree's recent activity in Chestnut Falls. She's also excited to send along the vet hospital's phone records from the night of the murder. So, on the Valentine's Day card, that's all that we needed to summarize from the Gray Investigations letter. So, in the Valentine's Day card here, we received this in the episode 4 box, and it's from Charlie to Sarah. And I read what the note from Charlie to Sarah says in episode 4 in that unboxing video. The only thing it tells me is that Charlie really did love Sarah, but maybe wasn't the best with words. It says, I love you so much, I wish I was better with words, and so on and so forth. So, that just basically tells me that he really loved his wife. Then, the local newspaper clipping, let me pull that out, is this. On the back of it, here, there is a memorial for Captain Cantor, beloved horse. So, I don't know if that ties into the case, but it was interesting. And then, the actual newspaper clipping itself talks about the Farmers Festival, and of course, Robin Dupree is a farmer. So, it talks about the local Farmers Festival, and it's run by Robin Dupree, and she's interviewed for the article. The fest is raising money for the Chestnut Falls anti-drug campaign Farmers Against Drugs, or FAD. And Robin says in the article, illegal prescription drugs are an epidemic in our county. I love this town, and I love the people here like family. It's my responsibility as a citizen to protect our traditional way of life. So that's very interesting because from previous information, we can deduce that Charlie and his friend Antonio were probably selling prescription drugs. So, I found that very interesting, and it makes Robin even more suspicious. So, along with there's no alibi for her yet, and so on and so forth. And then, okay, next we're going to go over the phone records. And the phone records are from the records for Chestnut Falls Veterinary Hospital. And they're interesting because Susan Lee, who is the vet in Chestnut Falls, claimed that she called her lawyer the night of Charlie's murder from her vet clinic, and she said that she called Aura right after that. So the phone records from the vet clinic shows a 32-minute phone call to a number in Chicago at 9:11 p.m. And it's the only number that isn't blacked out. It's right there. So, when you call it, you can actually call this number and you get a voicemail for Kelly and Kelly, a law firm specializing in insurance and animal law in Illinois. So that was a really nice touch, I thought, by Hunt a Killer. And then the next phone call after that was at 9:44, and it was an outgoing call lasting for 1 minute. So that matches up with Susan's witness statement. She said that she called Aura after the phone call with her lawyer, but that Aura didn't answer. So from this information, we can basically eliminate Susan Lee as a suspect in Charlie's murder at the time. And we can say that she was actually at the vet clinic at the time of Charlie's murder. So it would be impossible for her to be the person who killed Charlie. The next thing we'll go over is a small note and toy that was sent along to us. So the small toy is a troll doll with blue hair, and I remember these so well because I was like a 90s kid, and we had troll dolls that had like a jewel as a belly button. So cool. So this was sent along with a note that says, "Look what I found at my parents' place. I couldn't resist hiding it for you to find later. Do you still hate these as much as you did in high school? When Maggie's born, I bet she'll love weird toys like this. Thanks again for the ride back." So, when you look at the handwriting on this note, it looks like Aura's handwriting in Charlie's yearbook. And it also, saying that the troll doll was found at Aura's parents' place. So since this is Charlie's cousin, Aura's parents would be Charlie's aunt and uncle, and it states when Maggie's born, she will love toys like that. That means that the note was written a while ago, as at this point Maggie's already been born and grown quite a bit. So the note also thanks Charlie for the ride back, which has no meaning at this moment, but I'm guessing that Aura wrote this from her handwriting and Charlie's yearbook. So the next thing we'll go over is Athena's witness statement. So Athena Matsukas is Nick's mom, and here's her witness statement. She says that Georgios was setting up with her and that Nick came to help out right after the reunion before anyone else. This doesn't match up with other witness statements, and she also states that she talked to Antonio the longest and that he came earlier than the rest. She then states that Arthur came and was the only one who came close to 10 like Nick said. Then Robin showed up, then Gavin came 15 minutes late and soaking wet. Nita came around then too. And then Athena says that Nick wasn't there when Gavin came because he probably ran to the store for something. So, like, I think that Gavin and Nita, they had similar witness statements. And they both came around the same time to the taverna. So, I was thinking that maybe they were a team and that they possibly killed Charlie together. Is one of my theories that hasn't been disproven yet, and a lot of evidence keeps pointing toward maybe that happening. So, the newspaper article about Gavin is next. So, oh yeah. Athena also said that Nick wasn't there when Gavin came because he probably ran to the store for something. So that's kind of fishy. It sounds like maybe she's trying to cover up for Nick. That maybe something else was going on. So I also think that maybe Nicholas Matsukas and maybe Robin Dupree, the ex-girlfriend, they both live in Chestnut Falls. maybe they were a team and they had committed the murder together. I don't know why I'm thinking it's a man-woman team that killed Charlie, but that's just what keeps running through my mind right now. So, that's where we are with Athena's witness statement. And then the next thing we're going to go over is the newspaper article about Gavin. Okay, so this is interesting. Let me find it real quick.
One eternity later.
Ah, here it is. Okay, so, this article, Surgeon to the Stars takes vengeful jab at ex's new beau, is an article about Gavin. It's pretty interesting because it talks about a man who went to Gavin for chin augmentation. When he woke up, he had a bonus procedure done, grotesque giant lips, that he didn't ask for. So the victim says that Gavin used to be married to Ashley Banks, who the victim had been dating for a while. He didn't know his girlfriend used to be married to Gavin until he talked to her after the surgery. So, I mean, I'm just thinking, well, if you're going in for a procedure, aren't you talking about it with your girlfriend and maybe mentioning who the surgeon is? I mean, maybe this could have been avoided. But anyway, that has
Seriously,
nothing to do
right?
with the case. But the article also states that Gavin is in talks to do a reality show about his practice. So that's also interesting. Maybe like a scandal would help get his TV show out into the world through word of mouth. So the next thing we're going to go over is a pretty complicated thing. So we'll just take our time here. And I will put in pictures to show you better if I am not able to illustrate what's going on here. And also there are going to be some humongous spoilers. So if you can't figure out the cipher in the Listening Friends of America memo, but you want to do it on your own, now may be a good time to stop watching. If you want some hints as to maybe where to go to figure it out, maybe watch a little longer and then I'll pause and then I'll go into the solution. So I'll give you a warning. But anyway, this is the internal memo from Nick's workplace, the Listening Friends of America. So I've watched videos about Hunt a Killer before we got our first package. And Listening Friends of America is woven throughout other cases. So I was kind of excited to see this. The memo was interesting when I first started looking at it. You're given a magnifying glass. Where is that? Here it is. So you're given a magnifying glass for, I don't know if you can see, like, these little parts here. And I'll insert pictures, of this too, if you guys can't see it in the video very well. So, there's small print on the memo. And you can see it better with a magnifying glass. So the small writing on here is a cipher. It's known as a Alice and Bob cipher. So from cryptocouple.com, it says that Alice and Bob are fictional characters originally invented to make research in cryptology easier to understand. So exchanges between a sender and receiver of information are known as A and B, so also known as Alice and Bob. And they're the two users of the public key crypto system. And over time, a new character was introduced named Eve. And so the problem facing Alice and Bob with Eve is that a seemingly secure channel for communication is rendered imperfect in various ways. Transmission errors can occur, and partial information can leak to Eve, also known as the eavesdropper, who also can modify their transmissions arbitrarily. Okay, so this is where we're going to be getting into some big spoilers. So, maybe X out of this video if you don't want help figuring this out. Let me look real quick. And I will give you another warning. So I'm going to give you some information about how to maybe decrypt this cipher on your own. And then I'll give you another warning before I give the solution. Okay. So, when I was first working on this, I came across a video when I Googled Alice and Bob Cipher. That's what I figured out from the Listening Friends of America, is that it has to be an Alice and Bob Cipher. So once I Googled that, I came across a video that's on Khan Academy, and it's called the Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange. So through watching this video and using Google, I was able to decrypt the cipher very carefully. So next, you're going to want to know, so on the Listening Friends of America, I won't do the Bob part, but I will do the Alice part. You're going to want to go into Google and use the calculator and type in 3 and then an up arrow, which you can get by pushing shift and then 6 to get the up arrow, and then a 7. So 3 to the 7th power mod 17, and it will give you the answer. The answer for the Alice part is 11. Now there's a bunch more steps that you will get and figure out from watching this video. So I'm not giving you the answer. I'm just, this is the 2 tools that you can use to figure out the cipher. So if you do not want the solution, please X out of the video now. After I was done with all of that and I had figured out what I needed. I figured out what I needed was one number, okay? So the number I got from doing the Diffie-Hellman Key Exchange and using Google was 14. And I used that number 14 to take what's in the footnote right here at the bottom. And that's what you use, like you can't see it. Like, I can read it, but most people can't read it very well. So you use the magnifying glass to look and figure out what's in the footnote. And then you'll go to your Deviant tracker and go to the Tools tab to decipher the text. And then you put it in the text, whoops, and you use the tool that does the key shift, and you'll put in your number, type in your text, and what you get is it says, "This will not happen again, Nick." So it looks like Nick got in trouble with his workplace. And finally, we're going to look at the online evidence. So there are 3 pieces of information online within this episode. If you haven't looked at the online evidence yet, this would be a good place to X out of the video. So there are 3 pieces of information. First is a gift bag. So I went ahead and I printed it out. I will insert a picture if you're not able to see it very well. But the little note on the gift bag says, "Happy birthday, Sarah. When you wear this, I hope you think of me XOXO." So, I was comparing, okay, so this gift bag was recovered from Charlie's car. It's a light blue gift bag with a floral design, and you can see that better, on the website. I use my black and white printer because my color printer is just not, hooked up right now. But it's a floral design, and it's actually in the shape of a butterfly. It's actually a really cute gift bag, so, that's what I was thinking. But, I told you what it says, and in comparing the handwriting on the gift bag to the yearbook, the only two people I could think could have written the note is either Nita or Robin. And I wasn't sure about Robin, but when I compared the handwriting to Robin's love note to Charlie from high school, I thought it could be possible. I'm not sure why Robin would be giving a gift to Sarah, though, so I'm leaning more toward it being Nita. Because in her witness statement and in other places, she talks about Sarah and Maggie a lot. And I also wonder if the opal necklace from episode 3 was what was in the gift bag, because in the gift bag and the necklace were both found under the passenger side seat. I may have, hold on, I'll show you. So, this is the opal necklace, and nothing has, like, pointed this necklace in the direction of anything yet, except for this, so I'm thinking that's what it must be. That the, gift bag and the necklace were both found under the passenger side seat, so I think maybe the necklace fell out of the gift bag. So here's the opal necklace. I'll just slap it on for you right here and we'll wear it. So I think this may have been a gift to Charlie's wife. And also in episode 3, Grace states in her letter that she believed the necklace was in the car before the night of the murder. So could we also assume that the gift bag was in the car before the night of the murder? I'm not sure, but I'm thinking this all has to tie in with Nita somehow. And I thought that Nita and Gavin were kind of suspicious as like a couple because their witness statements were so similar. So the final pieces of evidence we have to go over today are the 2 surveillance photos from the taverna the night of Charlie's murder. This first photo appears to be Antonio Villar, and it was captured at 9:47 p.m. Excuse me. The second photo appears to be Nicholas Matsoukas, and it was captured at 10:18 p.m. So this information shows me that Antonio was at the taverna around the time that Charlie was killed. So we're able to actually eliminate him as a suspect at this time. And it also shows us that Nick's mother, Athena, may be lying for Nick, and that his whereabouts the night of the murder in order to provide an alibi to protect her son. So could it be because she knows Nick murdered Charlie that night? Is she protecting her son, or is it something else entirely? He is a neuroscientist working for a shady organization, Listening Friends of America. So there's so much going on with this case right now, and so many things linking together, and still so many loose threads. The only suspects we have left after eliminating Antonio Villar because of this photo, and then Susan Lee because of the phone records, is Robin Dupree, Nicholas Matsoukas, Nita Patel, and Gavin Nash. And so even with like the suspects that are left, it's kind of pointing maybe toward a boy-girl couple murdering Charlie. So that's what I'm thinking. The couple that would be most likely would probably be Robin Dupree and Nicholas Matsoukas, because there's some shady stuff going on with Nicholas Matsoukas and his workplace, and he told Charlie about stuff he wasn't supposed to, I guess, from the video of Arthur Hughes in episode 3. And then with this, the Listening Friends of America telling Nick that this won't ever happen again. That's kind of scary. And then Robin Dupree, in this episode, we see that she's really against prescription drug use and she thinks it's hurting her community. And Charlie and Antonio, I think that's what they're doing, is selling prescription drugs illegally. So that's who my mind is pointing to, is Nicholas Matsoukas and Robin Dupree. So that wraps that up. I do have my episode 5 unboxing, which I'm going to be doing very soon. And I also went to Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival on Monday. I still have some stuff to film for that because I wanted to film a haul because I got a lot of neat stuff there. And then that's going to take a lot of editing. So this video is going to be coming up really soon for you guys. The episode 5 unboxing. And then I have a really special video of my husband and I going to the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival. It was a lot of fun. And I got to actually meet my favorite homesteading YouTubers. So that was really exciting. And I loved it so much. It's a really neat place there in Mansfield, Missouri. So I would recommend, if you haven't been to it and you live in Missouri or around Missouri, you go to next year's because it was so fun. That's where I'm going to cut off for today. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to follow my adventures with Who Killed Charlie, hit that notification button, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.